In a world where freedom of belief is a fundamental right, 7 countries stand out for their severe restrictions on the Bible and the practice of Christianity. Among them are nations where the sacred word is considered a threat to the state, and followers of Christ live in constant apprehension. Amidst this oppression, a group of faithful individuals gathers secretly in a dark basement, their voices whispering passages of comfort and hope, like in Psalms 119 and 105. Your word is a lamp to my feet and a light to my path. The atmosphere is heavy, filled with fear and determination, as furtive glances cross, reflecting the distressing reality of their devotion. The group's leader, a man of unshakable faith, feels the pressure of the surrounding surveillance but believes that even in the darkness, the light of the word can shine. And you will know the truth, and the truth will set you free. John 8:32, he murmurs, fostering hope in their hearts. However, what they do not know is that, in their quest for freedom, a surprising outcome awaits them, challenging everything they thought they knew about faith and resistance. The basement was cold and damp, reflecting the tension in the air. With each meeting, the group became more united but also more vulnerable. Peter, one of the youngest members, looked around, feeling the weight of the responsibility on his shoulders. "What if they catch us?" he whispered, his voice trembling as he mentioned what everyone feared. "We can't give up, Peter," Anna replied firmly. Romans 8:31 says, "If God is for us, who can be against us?" We need to remember that. Anna's words brought some comfort, but they did not erase the anxiety that dominated the environment. They shared the same belief, but each faced their own internal battles. Peter thought about his family. How could they understand his choice to follow Christ amidst so much danger? His mother's voice echoed in his mind, saying that faith was a dangerous illusion. "I just want them to be safe," he murmured to himself. Meanwhile, the group's leader, Mark, watched the interaction with concern. He knew their faith was being tested at every meeting. "Remember Hebrews 11:1, he said, trying to infuse courage into their troubled hearts. Faith is the assurance of things hoped for, and the conviction of things not seen. He wondered if everyone could grasp the depth of those words. Fear and doubt could erode hope, and he needed each of them to stay steadfast. That night, they decided to share their testimonies. Each story was marked by pain, loss, and resistance. Clara, a middle-aged woman, talked about her husband's imprisonment for gathering to pray. He said that even behind bars, his faith did not waver. Psalm 27:1, he said, "The Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear?" Tears streamed down Clara's face, but her gaze was determined. "I cannot be afraid. My husband needs to know that we are not giving up." As the night progressed, an unexpected noise echoed from outside. Everyone's heart raced. "What if it's the police?" Peter whispered, and panic began to spread. Mark quickly asked everyone to be quiet, gesturing for them to come closer. "We need to be ready. We cannot let fear paralyze us. Remember Philippians 4:13. I can do all things through him who strengthens me." The tension was palpable, but in that moment, Mark's words became a spur for collective determination. Each of them knew that more than ever, faith and courage were their greatest weapons against oppression. The silence that followed the external noise seemed like an echo of uncertainty. Peter's heart pounded irregularly. He felt as if he were at the center of a whirlwind where faith and fear battled for space in his mind. What if our choices cost us everything? He thought. The idea of sacrificing his safety and that of his family was becoming increasingly heavy. He remembered Matthew 10:28. "Do not fear those who kill the body, but cannot kill the soul." But the fear for his mother, for his family, was like a shadow that would not leave him alone. Outside, the tension was mounting. Mark, with his gaze fixed on the door, knew the situation was becoming unbearable. The pressure from the authorities was growing, and the meetings became riskier each day. If we are caught, we could be taken away. And then, what will become of us? Peter's doubt reverberated among those present. Clara looked at Mark, seeking a response he did not have. He took a deep breath and quoted Romans 5:3-4. "And not only that, but we rejoice in our sufferings, knowing that suffering produces endurance, and endurance produces character, and character produces hope." But deep down he wondered, how far could hope sustain them? At that moment, the group faced a grim dilemma: continue meeting in search of strength or disperse, preserving each one's safety. Anna, noticing Peter's internal struggle, approached him. "Peter, each of us has to decide what we truly value. Faith is a risky path, but it is the only one that can lead us to true freedom." He felt the weight of her words, but doubt still consumed him. How could he be so courageous when fear surrounded him? The tension grew as each reflected on their choices. It was as if every word exchanged in the dark room became a thread of tension that could snap at any moment. Mark looked around, realizing that the group's unity was at risk. If they did not find a common purpose, what bound them could disintegrate, just like the night that enveloped them. "What will we do?" I asked, feeling the tension in the air like a thread about to break. Mark's gaze fixed on me, and I could see determination mixed with fear on his face. "We cannot give up now, Peter. Remember Psalm 31:24. Be strong, and let your heart take courage, all you who hope in the Lord. We need to unite, even if the path is dangerous." Those words marked a turning point within me. The fear was still pulsating, but now there was a spark of courage emerging. I looked at Anna, who maintained her steady gaze as if she were willing to face whatever came. And then a surge took hold of me. If we decide to disperse, we will be handing our hopes to a bleak future. If we stay together, we can face anything. My voice trembled, but I could not ignore the fervor growing inside me. Mark nodded, and Clara stepped closer. "We need a plan. We cannot let fear paralyze us. As it says in Ephesians 6:13, therefore take up the whole armor of God, that you may be able to withstand in the evil day, and having done all to stand. Let us prepare for what comes." The atmosphere in the room changed. Uncertainty was replaced by collective determination. They began to discuss strategies, engaging in a fervent dialogue about what to do next. Adrenaline pulsed through my veins as I listened to the ideas being exchanged. The weight of fear was still present, but now there was also a sense of purpose. As Mark outlined the plan, I felt a mix of anxiety and relief. Whatever happened, we knew we were together. But amidst the growing hope, a shadow of doubt still lingered. What if we didn't succeed? The future was still uncertain, and the feeling that everything could collapse at any moment did not leave me. The climax was near, but the resolution still seemed distant, like a hazy horizon waiting to be explored. While ideas buzzed in the room, determination grew. Each of us began to understand that we were in a battle not only against external forces but also against our own fears. Mark, always with a steady gaze, reminded us of Philippians 4:13. "I can do all things through him who strengthens me." That passage echoed in my mind, a reminder that strength did not come only from us, but from something greater. With the plan in hand, we moved to action. With each step, although fear was still present, I felt lighter, as if hope had become an invisible armor. Finally, we faced the challenges that stood before us. The fight was intense, but unity and faith kept us firm. In the end, when the storm calmed, we realized that we were stronger than we had ever imagined. The victory was not just about overcoming obstacles, but about finding a greater purpose amidst adversity. I remembered Romans 8:28. "And we know that for those who love God, all things work together for good." Divine justice manifested itself, not only in the protection we received, but in the spiritual growth we experienced. Looking at my friends, I realized that true strength lies in unity and faith. In our darkest moments, we must remember that we are not alone. Each of us can be a support for one another, reflecting the mercy and love of God in our actions. The lesson I carry with me is that when we face challenges, faith and unity are our best weapons. As Psalm 46:1 teaches us, God is our refuge and strength, a very present help in trouble. May we always remember this, applying this truth in our lives. Even when the path seems uncertain, faith is a light that does not go out even in the darkest nights.